Hello, good evening, everybody. Yes, we are live. The Real Estate Made Easy 1.0, we are live. Yeah, good evening, Mr. Oladimeji, good evening. Onimus Property World, good evening. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah, good evening, everybody. So, this is the Real Estate Made Easy version 1. Yes, and it's going to be a wonderful session. Not really feeling too well, but I assure you that everything. So it's going to be a wonderful session. Yeah, it's going to be a very wonderful session. I'm not really feeling too well. So we have Mr. Oladimeji Nuruddin. Mr. Oladimeji Nuruddin to talk about the reasons why people are really scared of getting properties. Let's say you're in diaspora and you're trying to get, or we Nigerians that are here, people are really scared. So we have Mr. Oladimeji to talk about so many factors and to just buttress his points and make sure that everything is all good. Okay, so be live with us. Okay.
I'm just going to straighten it. I'm just going to
Mr.
straighten it.
Mr.
I can hear you clearly.
Oladimeji.
Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm doing very fine, sir.
Yeah, the lighting is poor, man. I don't know if you can see me. Good evening.
Yeah, I can see you, sir.
Yeah, okay. So prior to people joining, it's a pleasure to have everybody on board. Good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to have you all on board. Dimeji Hussein Nuruddin, and okay, yeah, you're welcome. So moving forward, moving forward, we are going to be starting the session right away. Like he has said, that I should talk about reasons why people are scared of buying properties in Nigeria. Or Nigeria. People in the diaspora, or even people in Nigeria, are scared of buying properties in Nigeria. Or people in diaspora are scared of buying properties in Nigeria, especially Lagos, precisely. Okay. So I don't know how you want it to go, Mr. Davidson. Is it that you want to be asking me questions and I answer, or just want me to
Yeah, absolutely. I'll ask you
talk?
questions, then you answer.
That's
And
it.
also,
That
then if you have like things to like expatiate to explain about, then you can take it off from there, sir.
Oh, okay.
All right, sir.
Okay. So the first one says reasons why people are scared of buying properties.
Yeah.
Okay. Someone said you should share the link. Maybe you can share the link to them so that more people
Okay.
can join. Now, firstly, what I would say is that it is natural, like it is natural for anybody to be scared of anything at an instant in time, like at first, no matter what you want to purchase, no matter what you want to own, even though the person who wants to give you that thing is your blood, is your father. It is a natural phenomenon for you to be scared in the first place. Like skepticism is a normal for everybody from the onset. So now, what are those things that causes this skepticism? No, number one major thing that I would say causes this skepticism is what I call bad record. I use the word bad record first. Let me start by using bad record. Now, what do I mean by bad record? Bad record simply means that what has been done in the past.
Yeah.
I get me. What has been done in the past. So one of the major reasons why people, like number one of the major reasons, yeah, do that. Number one of the major reason why people are actually scared of buying properties in Nigeria or buying property from diaspora is the fact that they are scared of what they have heard or what has happened to them in the past, or what has happened to their friend in the past, or what has happened to their parents or their colleagues in the past as regards real estate purchase. I get him. So that's number one thing, bad record. Somebody or somewhere has been scammed before, somebody somewhere has done something wrong before as regards real estate. So that's number one thing that actually causes it. So then number two that causes this fear of actually owning properties in Lagos is as a result of I'll say as a result of budget.
Okay.
Now, what do I mean by that? So there's this feeling that I want to own a particular property, but because I don't have up to that, maybe I should just wait till I have up to that. Fear of the unknown.
Yeah. Like they actually feel that they can't meet up to that.
Yeah, up to that standard is not for them.
Yes.
At all, which is very wrong. So, but most especially, the major reason why people are actually scared of buying properties is the fact that there has been a bad record in place. And this bad record, they are actually trying as much as possible not to fall into that same trap again.
Yeah. And as I see most of all these so-called real estate companies, they don't actually put that standard. They don't put that standard. They don't ensure that, okay, let's say they deliver on time, they give the right documents.
Yeah. Deliverability.
Yes.
Now, that's one factor also, deliverability. Like you say what you can do. The idea is you under promise and you over deliver. You don't over promise and under deliver.
Yeah.
Are you getting me? So most of these real estate companies, like most of them, they over promise. We'll put swimming pool in the bedroom. We'll put it is fully gated with 24-hour security, fully armed, both armed and unarmed. There's robots that will be moving around the estate. Your grass will be having lights. They over promise.
Yeah.
So and the thing is, sometimes when something is too good to be true, we are Nigerians. Akian Labi said it. If you read one of his books where he said how to sell to Nigerians, if you read one of his books, he said that if you want to give people something, even though you know that you will deliver, but don't make it to be too good to be true because you are Nigerians. Once they can have that idea of, is this not scam? That's all. That's all. So don't over-promise and under-deliver. If you know that you want to develop a project, I said my first statement was that bad record. See, let me just tell you, the major reason, like that's the only answer So the reason why people are scared of buying properties from there is just bad record. Because all the problems that has ever happened, I get it. All the problems that has ever happened, apologies. Screenshot it. So all the problems that has ever happened at all whatsoever as regards this thing, as regards real estate, has happened before. Any problem that is happening now has happened before, and people have heard of it, and they are scared of making that same mistake once again. So, for example, now a project that, on a normal sense, is going to take 24 months to be delivered, a real estate company is now promising 6 months, 8 months to deliver it. You know, definitely people want to people want to watch into that project. Go, wow, yeah. I want to get this project. I want to get this project, something like that. But the truth of the matter is that, in the real sense, they know that they cannot actually deliver that project at that point in time.
Yes.
So that's lack of deliverability. Another thing is that lack of development. So there are 2 Ds. Can you deliver? Can you develop and deliver? It's different between me buying a house from you, or buying a property from you, or buying a land from you, and that land is still like that. How do you expect the value to increase?
It won't.
It will just be like that now. Or what the major thing that fosters the increment in the value of a property is the development. Yeah. You know, the higher the development. Oh, okay, it's up now. The higher the development. Okay. The higher the development, the higher the value, and the higher the value, the higher the what?
Right.
Price. So that's the thing. So most companies, they under-deliver and over-promise. But one thing is that we should learn that we shouldn't do that. We should more or less over-deliver and under-promise. Because by the time you say, yes, sir, we are going to build a gatehouse here and a perimeter fence, and the person comes to that place and sees a gatehouse, perimeter fence, and 24-hour security, you know, they'll be surprised. They'll be like, wow. Or you told them that, okay, you are going to be delivering this house fully finished. That is fully finished. And the person comes there and they're seeing something like, let's say, DSTV dish, they're seeing security cameras, you know, they'll be like, oh, wow. They'll be surprised. That's over-deliver. You get what I'm saying? So they would love to do more. So that's just it.
And the major reason why, like, even Nigerians in the diaspora, they feel that, okay, how can I trust this company? How can I give this person my money? Is it possible for me to bring my hard-earned money and give it to this person? And that was the same thing that happened with one of my one of my clients. This man he kept on asking me, where's my document? Where's my document? You understand? It felt like, okay, this company is this company. I was saying that, sir, I will deliver your documents tomorrow.
Okay.
The next day, I think that I will come to your place because we were staying in this apartment. I think that I will come to your place. I will give you your documents at exactly 1 p.m. The documents came in. I went to his place the next day and I gave him. He felt that because he has been dealing with real estate companies in the past, and they haven't been able to deliver. So it was like really, really down. And the other thing again is that now you talked about development. Most of these guys, they don't. They don't. They don't. And it's really slowing the process. It's really slowing everything down.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, Mr. Dimeji, I would really like you to talk about, okay, now you talked about the whole development and the delivery process. Then what about the documents? Are these documents genuine, or they are just
okay now? Okay, as regards that, before I answer that question, let me say something. You know, one thing about realtors is that, or giving the projects or products to the client. You know, I know some of the clients are online at the moment. So one thing is that if you say that, yes, sir, I will call you by 12 a.m. and deliver the document to you by 1 p.m. Do it at exactly that time.
Yes.
That's deliverability. Make sure you meet up to time. You keep up to time, and you make sure you show up. So now back to the other question when you mentioned documents. Okay, as regards documents, so I want to understand that question properly. Like, is it the type of documents you have, or what documents do you advise a client to buy? What documents properly do you advise the client to buy? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the kind of documents we have that are genuine. The kind of documents that ensures that, okay, you are buying a genuine property.
Okay.
Most of these Nigerians in the diaspora, they just feel that, okay, that this document is not genuine. It's just this, it's just that.
Okay. Yeah. Now we have several types of documents, several types, but like we generally know, the number one is C of O, certificate of occupancy. So I would say, if you have the money, it's better to buy. It's better. There's a word that says, the devil you know is better than the angel you don't know. Abi?
Yeah.
But you know that C of O properties. But you know that C of O properties are way expensive than other titles. So I would just advise, basically, if you know that your ability can take the C of O ones, take the C of O ones. But if they cannot, we have other ones that are as strong as C of O. Those are the only X C of O has to them is commercial purpose, taking loans, taking mortgage, all those kind of things. That has to do with monetary terms, But like, you want to start your investment at all, you want to start buying lands or anything, the best title to start with is approved government excision. You are 100% secure and safe. So is it approved government excision or Gazette? Actually, Gazette is same thing as approved excision. I'm sorry. Gazette is approved excision that has been published. I get me. Yes. There's a Gazette document by the government where they write the lands that they have approved their excision. They write it there and the other things, informations. Are you getting me? So that's what we call Gazette. So another one is then you move to C of O, governor's consent, government allocation. Those are the documents. Those are the documents that we have. So, but the ones that might not be so secure to the extent are the ones we call, what's it called again? Freehold excision in process. Are you getting me? In fact, we have one document too called letter of administration.
Wow.
Yeah, the title called letter of administration is basically for disease, like someone who died without writing a will.
Okay. And looking at
we have what we call, we used to have some people they misinterpret some titles. They say deed of conveyance, deed of all these things. No, those ones are not titles. So you understand me? Not like they are just subordinates. They are not the real title. For example, deed of conveyance is deed of assignment that you have registered with land registry. It's being called deed of conveyance.
Okay.
Are you getting me? So that's what we call deed of conveyance. So then provisional survey, the survey you register as land registry, then becomes registered survey. So these are the two things, and some other documents like that. Then you used to go and perfect your documents. If you didn't buy a well-strong title document land from the onset, then you can just go and do that by yourself. So those are the things. I think I've answered that question or something.
Okay. Yeah, you've done that, sir. And so, like, if let's say a client is trying to get a property right now.
Okay.
And every payment has been made. Okay, it's looking at owning, let's say, a government approved excision titled land.
Okay.
Yeah, what are those documents that are there? I think I've heard about the deed of assignment and the contract of sale.
Okay.
Okay, so what other documents again will come along with it, sir?
Okay, I'll just put it this way. The first thing first is receipt. Babe,
Yeah.
receipt of payment. That's the first thing. And that's true. That's the first thing. Before any other thing, let me have my receipt for my payment. So once you get your receipt, what follows the receipt is the contract of sales. The contract that actually document that binds you and the company together as regards the transaction that has just been made, documented in the receipt, your contract of sales.
Okay.
So after your receipt, then followed by contract of sales, then what you should be expecting next is your deed that will be signed by the related company and the family that are involved in that land. That is the what do you call them again? The landowners.
Yeah.
Only less. You get me now? So that one will be in the deed. So you get your deed of assignment. But those deed of assignment, it can take like 2 to 3 weeks or thereabouts.
Before you
Then
can deliver.
followed by your survey. Your survey document. So that's all.
Okay. That's wonderful, sir.
Yeah.
All right. I've been getting questions about all these things. Let me just put it on this live so that you can be able to address it and we can all learn, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
My other question, sir, for you, sir, is that so many people, prospects, so many people, they are trying to get properties, but like as you first said in the beginning, you talked about budget.
Yeah.
Yes. I really want a systematic buying process, something that won't stress, let's say, a client's cash flow, that won't stress a client's income. Is there like a very, let's not say perfect, like close to perfect way of getting a property that won't stress the income?
One thing I need to first let you know is that nothing good comes easy.
Yeah.
And real estate is something good. In fact, good is an understatement for real estate. It's best, and nothing best comes easy. So the first thing is that you must be ready in your mind that you want to get a property. If you want it to be easy for you, you have to be first ready in your mind. Like, okay, what I've come to realize is that when you actually want something, when you want to achieve something, when you want something, and you set your mind upon that thing, one way or the other, you don't know, the money will come out from one place and you'll be able to achieve that.
Yeah. Yes.
So you want to own a property, be it, let me set an example of 2 million property. That's why most of this company allows what we call payment plans, flexible payment plans. Flexible payment plan is different from payment plan. Payment plan is you have to be paying 200,000 naira monthly. 200,000 monthly. Let's say you're using 6-month payment plan now. Because most of these companies, they have 6-month, 3-month payment plan, 6-month payment plan, 12-month payment plan, 18 months, 24 months. Some even have 2 years, 3 years payment plan. Just that they come with some level of interest. They come with some level of interest. Yeah. So moving forward now, I was saying something. Moving forward, they come with some level of interest. Now, you want to actually own a property or let's say 2 million, and I was getting payment plan. Now they can still be paying 200,000 monthly, like January, February, March, April, May, June, July, and the rest like that. But you might not necessarily have to do that. But if it is flexible payment plan, if you have 6 months, let's say okay, your timeline to pay is 6 months. If it's payment plan, they'll say 200,000 or thereabouts. But if it's flexible means that you can pay 10,000 on Monday, pay 5,000 on Tuesday, pay 3,000 on Wednesday. Maybe for the next 2 months, you don't want to spend any money. You want to use that money to quickly do one sharp business that will generate you more money. You decide not to pay anything. Then at the 4th month, you just pay 100,000. Then at the 5th month, you just decide to pay 700,000. So, like, flexible simply means pay at your own will. Just make sure that the money is complete at the 6th month.
Yeah. And it's even
or the 12th month or the 24th month.
And this flexible payment plan will help a lot because
there's power in it too. There's a lot of power in payment plan. A lot of power in payments plan. You know, most of us, it's not as if there's no money. There's money. It's just that we, at a particular point in time, we we have some other things that we are doing with our money, but we quickly saw that thing and want to achieve it. So you can just decide to apply for a payment plan without having to break your bank or break your back or spend all the money and look broke.
Yes.
Just pay small and be spreading your balance. So that's power of payment plan.
Wow. This is wonderful, sir. This is wonderful.
Yeah.
And the payment plan, it will help. It will help a lot. It will help. The buying process, let's say a land is selling for like 1 million naira. Okay. And that payment plan, let's say you don't really have that 1 million naira, but you know that land is good. You know that if you miss on that, if you miss that deal, you can't get it.
Again.
Let's say, for instance, now Alpha Island, one of our estates that's selling. Let's say that estate, you really want to get it. Government approved extension title, like something that you've never seen before, selling below the market price. The payment plan and the initial deposit can even save you.
Yes.
Can
Because there's power to initial deposit too.
Wow. Yes. Initial deposit saves a whole lot of stress.
A whole lot.
A whole lot.
And gives you a whole lot of opportunities.
And let's say, like, these Nigerians in the diaspora that want to get these properties, like, as you earlier mentioned, you talked about deliverability and the rest. Now, how do they see these companies and how can they trust these companies?
Okay, one thing first is that once they have their realtor that they're working with, okay, I want to get a particular land, okay, for example, Alpha Island now. I want to get a plot or 2 plots or 3 plots at Alpha Island. Good. Now, you have known the land you want to buy. So the next thing is to ask the realtor, okay, which of these related company owns this land? Prime Pinnacle. Then the client can just do a background check on Prime Pinnacle. Can just go online. Do they exist? Okay, they're online. Good. Who is the MD? Good. Who is also? Good. That's fine. Or they send someone for an inspection to come and inspect the office alongside the realtor. Everything they are doing, they must carry the realtor along. So that's all. So there's no big deal about verifying through how do I put it? Verifying correct companies. All you just have to do is
just do the necessary.
Absolutely. So just join, just follow the realtor to verify the company. That's all. Yeah. You can even verify the realtor himself. Check, is he online? Is he real? What are his track records? Check the company too. What's the company's track record? Which estate have they sold out before? Which of the estates they have before? Do they have estates before? Or this is their first estate? Or have they built any house before? Or do they have any estate that people are already living there? What's their deliverability style? Do they develop? Okay, let me check their previous estate. Did they do anything on the land? Or the land is just there since 2015 till now? The land is just there like that. Probably they didn't probably they didn't cut the grass. They didn't do any perimeter fencing. No gate house, no drainage network. No, it's just bushy, it's just there, it's just waterlogged. Automatically, you should know that it's not a good company to deal with. But you see that, okay, this company, I've seen product A, I've seen product B, estate 3, estate 4, by the same company, this is a good company to deal with.
Yes. And that's even reduce the level of, let's say, like the client's trust issues. It's even like increase the trust issues and reduce the stress level.
It will increase the level of trust and reduce the level of skepticism.
Yes. And talking about you talked about the C of O land. I think there are properties that have that kind of titles now.
Yeah, I think we have Richfield. Richfield Estate is one of them. Richfield, that's at Oshoroko. We have Royal Garden Estates too at Oshoroko. We have several numbers of them. We have several very fantastic estates. When I say fantastic carries a lot of weight in it. So the fantastic estates that has CFO.
Yeah, and okay. And which location do you like? Do you ensure, like, let's say somebody's starting the real estate investment, like trying to grow his portfolio, okay,
Yeah.
and doesn't really have that much.
Okay.
Which location do you think, or which location is best for that person to invest in?
Okay. Is it number one is that you have to first look at your budget.
Yes.
I get it. The budget is the first thing. So it's the budget that will actually determine which location will fit that budget because they work simultaneously.
Yes.
So, but if you know that your power can carry your full properties, I'll just advise you to just stay after the Lekki Fit Zone. Just stay in the arena of Oshoroko or Akodo. Akodo is share of Lekki or Oshoroko environment. You know?
Yeah.
Before the campaign, we have several good, fantastic estates around the environment before the campaign.
Wow. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Oladimeji.
You are ultimately welcome.
Thank you, Rotarian Oladimeji Nuruddin. Thank you very much, sir. It's a wonderful session, sir.
You too.
Yeah, we'll have more of this to enlighten clients, to enlighten everybody that, okay, this is the right platform, this is the right way to invest your money. Because most people don't know. They really feel that they can trust their money on crypto. Yeah, crypto might be good, but dipping level.
Apart from the dipping level, in fact, it's a good one. Are you getting it? It's a good one. That's the fact. It's a good one. But when it comes to security,
yeah.
See, it's good to do other investments. You can do crypto, you can do forex. They are good. I get them. They are good. But the money, the profits you make from those places has to be secured. Yeah. It's more or less like you're selling phones. You're selling phones, then you're selling another thing, or you're selling other things that are getting profit and getting profit. There has to be something that is securing that money. There has to be something that is securing those profits. Come rain, come storm, come sunshine, it's still there.
It will always be there. It can't be moved.
So that's why real estate is ultimately the best platform for money security.
Yes.
And future security. So guaranteed.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Oladimeji.
You're very welcome.
It's
a pleasure, sir.
We'll have more of this, sir.
You're welcome.
All right. Do have a nice night, sir.